Hey, what's going on guys? TheKnowee here, and in today's video we are going to be continuing on with our Brick Breaker clone. In last video we got our play button working, we instantiated our player, but that was really it. So in this video we're going to be continuing on with the state machine and making more work. So, first things first, we need to actually instantiate the ball and instantiate the levels, right? Because we can't really play the game without the levels. So let's do that. So first things first, let's instantiate the ball, or let's get our ball being able to instantiate. So we're gonna make a private game object. Remember how we did that for some of our other stuff we've done. We made some private game objects, like for the brick, or for the ball. We made a private game object for that, and the player private game object. So we're going to be doing that same thing. So right underneath here, let's double that up real quick, and then we're going to make a private game object. So we're going to name it private game object. Let's name it current ball. There we go. Alright, so we made a private game object, and we named it current ball. Okay, so now in order to instantiate it, we only want to instantiate it while we're playing. So in the update loop, that's right, the update loop, alright, we're going to put an if statement, and we're going to say if the current ball is null, so that means we do not have a ball on screen. And then we also want to say if the balls, the variable we named balls for how many balls we have, if the balls are greater than 0, right? What are we going to do in that? Well, we're going to set the current ball equal to, and then we're going to instantiate. Oh, instance, not instance, instantiate the ball prefab. Not capital. Ball prefab. So, what this is saying is, if we do not have a current ball and the balls are not equal to 0, basically we have lives, or we have balls, then we're going to instantiate the ball. Simple, easy, to the point. Make sense? Alright. Now, we're going to make an else statement. Else, this is saying, like basically, if we don't have any balls, we're going to switch state. Not switch. Switch state. State dot game over. You lost. Because you ran out of lives. You ran out of balls. Does that make sense? So, basically all we just did is we instantiated the ball. If we have balls, we made the ball appear. And if we don't have any balls, well, you lose. You're going to go to the game over screen. Make sense? Now let's make our load level work. So in the begin state for load level, right up in here, we need to switch the state to state play. I tabbed, not game over, state. There we go, play. So we switch state to the play state. Alright. But before we do anything, we need a reference to our current level, like our balls. So let's head back up here and do that same thing. So we're going to make another private game object. Same thing, we're going to name it current level. Alright, then once we've made our variable for the current level, we need to put in the load level. So right in here, let's put right in here, if the level there we go. If level is basically that same thing, levels dot length Oh, jeez. There we go. So if the level is greater than the levels.length, then we are going to end the game because you've finished the game. Switch state. Game over. And then else we need to instantiate the level, not ball. So instantiate from the levels, right? We need from the levels, and then from the array of level. So we're gonna switch the state to play, and then if we have a level, or if we don't have any levels to load, we switch the state to game over, and if we do have a level to load, we're gonna load that level. So let's make sure that works. So, right, for our code to compile, press play again. Here we go, but the ball did not instantiate, and I will explain why that is in a second, but this did work, which is awesome. Alright, so what we're going to do is, now that we have it, we want to create a delay in our state switches. So let's introduce a float. Alright, so we're going to introduce a float in switch state. So comma float. And we're going to name it delay. And we're going to initialize it at 0. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a coroutine. And a coroutine is a little bit confusing, but follow along and I'll explain everything. So in a coroutine, right, so we're going to make an I enumerator. That is how you make a coroutine. Okay. Oh wait, you know what I just realized? I totally forgot to do this. So we don't want switch state out here. We want to switch our state if we have levels. Switch state dot state. There we go. Okay, so we want to switch the state if we have something there. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. That's yelling at me because this is now wrong, but we'll fix that. So, and because there's an enumerator. So now we need to name it. So I'm gonna name it switch delay, and then it's gonna take in the same stuff. So state do state, and then comma. It's gotta take in the float delay, but we don't need to put in the equal 0 because it already has that. Okay. And then now we need to put in a yield return. So yield return. And then we need a new wait for seconds. And then we want to take in the delay. And then we need to end the current state. And then we want to set the state to the new state. And then once we set the state to the new state, we want to begin the state. And we got to take in state. Or we got to not take in state, we got to take in the new state. New state. And then we can take out this section right there. So what's going to happen is in switch delay, when this is called, right, it's going to yield return to the new wait for seconds. And basically what a yield return is this this coroutine is going to run until this is met, so that when the delay is met, then it's going to end the state. It's going to set the state to the new state. Oh. And then it's going to begin the new state. Make sense? Now, in order to make it work, now we need to put in switch state, we need to put a start coroutine. And then we need to put the switch delay in here. And of course, that's got to take in the new state and then the delay. So now it's going to start the coroutine right in here. Now, let's also make one more thing, because we need to make sure that this is actually working, right? Because we got to make sure that it's truly working. So in the beginning of our coroutine, we're going to put a variable, but we need to make another private variable, but it's going to be a private bool, a boolean, which sets something to true or false, and we're going to name it is switching states. And we're not going to initialize it as true or false. And then in the beginning of our coroutine, before we start worrying about that, we're going to set the is switching states to true. And then at the end of our thing here, we're going to set the is switching states to false. So basically, this is just like the cover. This boolean is a cover for this. So it's setting the is switching states to true. It'll wait for the delay. Then once it waits for the delay, it'll end the current state. Then it'll set the new state, and then it'll begin that new state, and then it'll set the is switching states to false, not fault. Whoops. So let's make sure that works. Boom, there's our ball. And it's jumping around. Wonderful. Also, if you guys notice that it initializes up like towards the top, so quickly let's head over to the prefab and set the position to 0. So now it'll be underneath it. There we go. However, here's one big thing that I'm noticing with our game is we can't really control where the ball's going because we have a flat paddle. No matter how hard I try, I will never get it to be able to go anywhere else other than just up and down. So in order for us to not have our ball just go straight up and down, we're going to need to be able to actually make a curved paddle, because with this parallel paddle, we're not going to get that reaction that we need. So I'm opening up Blender. If you guys haven't already installed Blender, it's kind of that same process. Head over to Google, type in Blender download, and then get yourself Blender. It's a free program. It's also an amazing program. If you guys don't know what Blender is a 3D editing software for your own materials / like renders, anything. This thing, you can make whatever the heck you want. You can make a car, you can make characters, walking characters too with this animation system. You can make whatever the heck you can possibly imagine and put your time into in Blender. It is incredible what Blender is capable of. This is your starting scene. You'll have a camera and a light. I went ahead and already deleted them, so go ahead and do that because we will not need them. Click on your cube and press the number pad 1, so you go into this view here. Scroll in here so we can get a nice zoom, and I'm going to press tab to edit mode. This is edit mode. And in edit mode, I'm going to press S to scale it, but I only want to scale it on the X axis. So we're going to press X so we can only scale it on this axis. And I'm going to press number pad 2 to go 2 units exactly. Same thing, I'm going to scale it one more time, S. I'm going to constrain it to the Z axis, and we're going to go 0.5. Still, it's a parallel surface, so we're not going to get really anywhere with this, so I'm going to press Control R. We're going to scroll up a few times. Let's get a little bit more. Boom. And I'm going to left click, right click, so that we make, basically these are more vertices for us to work with. That is pretty epic. Now click off of your wonderful thing, and you're going to press Shift Alt left click the middle so it clicks the middle. Then I'm going to go into proportional editing, and I want it to be a sphere because we're going to make this a curve. Then I'm going to press G and then scroll wheel downwards to make an orb, or like a circle around our object. Then, as you guys can see, I can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it, but I'm going to press Z, and I'm going to constrain my editing to the Z axis, so I can't do crazy stuff. And boom. There we go. We got a pretty nice curved paddle. That looks dope. But I want more. We got to make this cool. So I'm going to press A so that we have it all selected. Press number paddle 1 again and Control R. Let's make that 2 and drag them right up here. Now, if we go like this, we can hit, let's go into face editing mode. We can hit E for extrude and then S. Now we extruded that inwards and that looks dope. And then one more time, I'm going to go ahead and Control R and then make an extra face in there so that we can get some extra colors. That's going to look absolutely incredible. I can't wait. But let's do more. Oh, I'm in vertices selection mode. Let's grab these faces on the underneath side of it. On the underside, underneath side, it's the same thing. I'm going to press E. E. There we go. Ooh, that's cool. But you know what? I can make this even cooler. If we head over here to the shading tab, welcome to the shading, we can make this look really dope. So what I want you guys to do is open up Google. And you guys are going to head over here to laspec.com/palette list. And in here you got a ton of palettes. All of these palettes you can use to get colors into Blender. Go ahead and get yourself any of them. I already have one downloaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that baby up. I put it on desktop. I called it nature. What you're going to do is you're going to drag and drop right in here into this little area. Drag it right over here. Then you're going to left click the color into the base color. Ooh, that's pretty. But in order to edit it, we need to head over to UV editing. And in order to see it, we need to be in texture, viewport shading. This is the texture. We added the texture. As you guys can see, it is everything. So let's press A on it. Now we have the whole color spectrum of what it shows. I'm going to click over here and click A. And then I'm going to scale it down. Scale, 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 scale. Scale, scale, scale. Press G. I'm going to make it blue. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Now it's blue. But let's make it cooler. Shift, Alt, left click on this area and... not that one. You gotta be super careful with the clicks, because sometimes they're a little picky. Make sure I'm not selected anything anywhere else. I just want this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Alt Shift, this one, that one. There we go. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press Control Plus and then G. Let's make it that color. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Alright, let's add a little bit more color and then we'll call it good. How about that? So Shift, left click on the bottom here. Same thing, I'm gonna hit Control Plus and then G. Let's make them green. Ooh, that's pretty. That's real pretty. And boom, we have ourselves a paddle. Let's name it Paddle. So double click. Paddle. That's pretty awesome, guys. That is pretty awesome indeed. Now we need to be able to make a cube, right? Because, well, in order to make more, we need, well, more. So we're gonna Shift A. In here, Shift, oh, that's Shift S, Shift A. We're gonna make a cube. Okay. Oh, you know what I just realized? It made it into the paddle. So, fun fact, if you guys make a cube, right? And then if you delete it like I just did, you'll get rid of the paddle. So if you guys make a cube that you don't want, hit Control Z until it goes away. Alright? So, whenever you're in here, right? I still have the cube here, but it's not actually visible because it got rid of that cube, right? So if you guys want to make a cube separate of this, you need to turn off your collection here. So I'm gonna hit click this tab, so I go back into editing mode, and then since it's in collection, go ahead and turn off the collection so that it's no longer in view, and then Shift A and then make a cube. Alright, so just FYI, whenever you guys are making stuff in Blender, make sure you turn off the original thing, not just view off. Turn it off, so that when you make a new thing, it doesn't mess it up. And it doesn't do you dirty. We're not going to color it because, well, we don't need to. Alright? Hold on, let me quickly open up this. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. There we go. Okay. So now that we made ourselves a cube, we're going to make this into our brick. Sound good? So, for the scaling, we got to scale this down. I'm going to press S. And on the Z axis, we're going to make it 0.5 because we're going to make it small. And then I'm going to hit Control S. Oh, not Control S because that's going to save it. That was a test, totally. On the Y axis, I'm going to make it 0.25. So now it's pretty small. And then if we're going to hit Control B. Control B. And that bevels it, so that makes it look pretty cool. Bam. Look at that. That is dope. Then what we're going to do is we're going to press A, select the whole thing, and then we're going to press S, and we're going to scale it down just a little bit. So what we're going to do, make sure you're in 1, wherever your mouse is, S, and then down just a smidge. Not too much, though. Just a smidge. Okay? Just a smidge. All right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this back on, right? We're going to open up the paddle. We're going to shift-click the paddle and the cube. We're going to head over to File. We are going to head over to Export and then FBX. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we got to go into where we want to save it. So first things first, let's head into where we can access this thing, right? So in order to do that, we need to go into the documents. Or not into the documents, but we need to head over to desktop. We're going to find our game. So find your game wherever you put it. I'm going to go get mine. So let me grab it real quick. Right here in Brick Breaker, we're going to make a new folder. We're going to name it Meshes. And then in here, we're going to name this Meshes. See right in here. In packages, you can do it in packages as well. But you don't have to. I'm going to do it out here and right here. So meshes.fbx. And then you guys have to click limit to selected objects. And then you want to do click apply transform. And make sure your scalings are to the FBX units scale. Does that make sense? So limited to my selected objects, which is the paddle and the cube. We're going to go to the FBX unit scale. And we're going to apply the transform. Go ahead and export it. Alright, now that you have exported it, we're going to head over here to Unity. Alright, then we need to bring in this package because we decided, hey, we're going to make a package here. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to my thing here. Brick Breaker, Meshes. Oh, it did not go into where I wanted it. So whenever you guys go ahead and import something, import it into either the packages folder or into the assets folder. So in here real quick, we're gonna make a, hold on, so now that we have our paddle and our cube, we need to export them. So file, export FBX, okay? Then we're gonna go into assets. We're gonna make a new folder. We're gonna name it meshes. Make sure you guys have it named meshes. .fbx, and then we're gonna name, we need to click limit to selected objects, which is our paddle and our cube. We need to do the apply scalings FBX units scale, and then you need to click on apply transform, export.fbx. Head over to Unity. Boom! Wonderful new thing pops up with the meshes. That's pretty dope. Oh, I should have named it brick, but it's fine. So now what we got to do is we also need to bring in we need to create, so let's head over here into materials, and then let's create a material, and we're going to name this paddle palette. And then we need to bring in that color palette that we downloaded. So quickly open up your folder and drag it in. And then in paddle palette, we're going to drag this over here into the albedo. So now, in our prefabs, where our brick is, our wonderful little brick, we can apply this mesh. So now that we have the brick selected, head over here into assets, meshes, grab the cube. I should have named it brick, just grab cube and put it into the mesh here. Alright, so now if we take a look into the prefab for brick, that's what it looks like. It's got that wonderful size to it, but we no longer need this to be weirdly sized, so we can scale it normally. So now it's a little bit better. I'm going to scale it a little bit longer because, well, I want to. Holy moly. There we go. Then same thing for brick or red brick. Click on red brick. Let's open up the prefab so we can see what it looks like. Ta-da. Head over here to assets, grab the cube, bring it into the cube mesh filter renderer. There we go. There we go. Now if we take a look into our prefabs, our level 1, we have all of our bricks. Actually, we can let's actually bring these down. So we can see it in level 1 here. The size, this is what I do testing. So we're gonna 111 these. Okay, let's take a look into level 1 now. They're still a little large. So let's do this. Alright, take back into level 1. That looks good. That looks super good. So for my scalings, go ahead and just go 0.5. And then do the same thing for red brick. 0.5. And you'll be solid. Well, of course, I need to add the 1. There we go. So now red bricks are happy too. So if we take a look into level 1 and level 2, we got that same spacing to it. But if you guys notice something right away, take a look at the colliders. The colliders are way off. So quickly into brick, we need to remove the box collider component, and then we need to re-add it. So box collider, and now it's gonna fix it. So let's go ahead over here to brick number 2. Remove component, add component, box collider. So what would have happened is, since the box collider didn't fit the brick, is it would have just went woof, right through it. And we would have not been able to really do anything about it except stare at it and just kind of laugh. So now for our player, well, we know what to do. Head over here to our paddle, bring it into the mesh filter. Oh, it's a little long, so 111 it. Now, let's add the color into it. So we need to add so we head over here to the materials. We have the paddle palette, which we added to it. So in player, we add in this paddle palette to the materials, and it'll bring in our colors. So now it looks cool. Isn't that awesome? So now let's try it out. So we're going to press play. Press play. Look at that. And our bricks look cool. And now, oh, I missed. Hold on, let's try that again. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what I did? So, one of the big things is, you notice how I just went through the side? It's that same thing. So quickly, head over here to player. We're going to get rid of, we got to get rid of the box collider. But for the player specifically, right, we need to do a little something a little different. We need to add a mesh collider. And the reason we add a mesh collider is so that it fits to the mesh, and then we need to add convex to it. It won't quite scale to the bottom of the thing, but that's fine because that's not where we're colliding. We're colliding at the top. Now, once you have that, let's try that again. Boink. And now I got some direction to it. Oh my goodness, I keep missing. Hold on. Here, actually, let me do myself a favor. Player, because it's a little small. Let's go like 1.5. Now let's press play. That's a little better. And look at that, guys. I have some directionality to it now. So now, whenever I bring my pad, I can control where I want the ball to go. That's pretty awesome. And we have the score working. So our ball has a speed to it. It initializes. And now we can actually score points, working points. So not only can we control where the ball goes with a updated paddle from Blender, and our bricks are updated so they have some realism to them so that they look really cool and really nice. Like, I like the way they look. Like, don't get me wrong, they look nice. It has that cool look to them. So that is pretty awesome. One of the big things, especially with this scenario right here, is a lot of the time you'll get stuck with this. I will fix this in future videos. Basically what I've done is I've created a workaround for the ball. You can also increase the speed of the ball so you're not sitting here forever waiting for it. So there's multiple ways to fix that specific problem, but that's okay for now. We will make it work eventually. But for now, we have made a lot of progress in today's video. We have more of a complete working state machine with a updated paddle that we can control the directionality of our ball. Our bricks have colliders and they look cool. Look at them. They look dope. They spin. They got that metallic nature to them. That is pretty awesome. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Also, just something I'm noticing. I don't know why it's bugging me, but due to their just sheer size in Z, I'm gonna also 0.5 their Z axis so they're not like colliding with one another. Let's actually 0.25 that. 0.25. Look at that. Alright, let's try this. Let's take a look at that one more time. It was bugging me. I don't know. Was it bugging you guys? It was slowly driving me insane. Uh-oh. Whoops, I increased my scaling on accident. There we go. There we go. That looks better. That is more visually pleasing to me. It was slowly driving me insane. There we go. So now we have working paddle and our level doesn't look like it's crazy. So that is pretty epic. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. In the next video, we're going to be getting our balls and our level system working so that we have tracking balls and tracking levels. We're going to be using those private variables we created. And we're going to be making our game sound and look good. So I hope you guys are excited. We have a pretty much working state machine. So we have a volume of levels. We're gonna have to make sure that our level completed works in future videos because, well, it's gonna take me a little bit to beat this level. So I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below asking me your question. I will get to you guys as soon as possible. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.